My name is Yuri. Has anyone been to the karaoke yesterday? Yeah, I'm not gonna sing, promise. That was a bad experience. Anyway, I would like to talk about MapLibre. Um, come on in. Wow, we're actually starting right on time. Actually, wait, it's 59. Let's wait one more minute. Yeah, just be proper. I mean, I can tell jokes in the meantime, but food is good, right? Good college food. Yeah. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Thanks. All right. Okay, we're good. Starting. Record on. So my name is Yuri. A while ago, a license changed at Mapbox, and Mapbox GeoGS, which was very popular at the time, became less so popular because of the license change. And that's when we created MapLibre. So I'm going to talk about what we have achieved so far, what our work has been, what our aspirations are for the future, and just have some fun while doing it. So what is MapLibre? It's the software. MapLibre actually has multiple meanings. So first is the software. MapLibre Web, otherwise known as GeoJS, although technically it should be TypeScript, so it's TS, is the flagman project. It allows you to convert data into pixels, interact with the pixels, show cute maps, make them useful. It has grown quite a bit, as you can see on for the stats. And also the secondary project, which might be even more important than the first one, simply because it gets far more attention nowadays, it's the MapLibre native, which is the C++ implementation of the same thing running on your mobile devices. Quite a few of you most likely have more than one copy of MapLibre native running on your phone. It all happened in December 2020, and that's the first two projects that were really onboarded. Now we have grown quite a bit. We got Martin Tile Server, which we're going to talk about in a bit. We got Maputnik, the style editing. Come on. We got the new tile format coming out. I mean, we're busy. We are a very big community. Community is spanning the entire globe, although some of you might know that the world is actually kind of flat and square, but that's the technical implementation detail. We are also the organization. It's also MapLibre, so it's slightly confusing, but I'll try to decipher it. We exist to support the software. We have sponsors. We have a board. We're like grown up, fully elected every single year, which means no benevolent dictator for life. I was trying to remember what the acronym is for that. We pay people to maintain the software. We are the arbiter, the deciding body in case of a technical dispute when the technical groups cannot agree on something. We are the team. We have voting members. Anyone who contributed in a significant way to MapLibre community, MapLibre code automatically becomes nominated to become a voting member. We have a charter. So a lot of interesting organizational stuff's happening. We have sponsors. We wouldn't have grown as big as we did if it wasn't for these sponsors. Amazon and Meta actually came on board really early on to give us, like, to kickstart our project and allow us to hire the very first coordinator, Oliver, who has been working for several years and got everything going. We got a lot of smaller contributors that are also financially supporting us. So we got fork, then we got published to NPM. That was massively the rebranding effort. We got the native released following. So 2021 was really active in all sorts of things. We got the TypeScript conversion, where we took all of that JavaScript code, converted it to TypeScript, and then Mapbox was really sad because they really wanted to have the same thing, and but because of all the user base, it was much more difficult for them to do it. But we didn't have that many users at the time, so it was much easier for us to just convert the code. We got in 22 we got the first massive supporters, and we in 22 we also got the official charter and the proper board and did all the paperwork to become them. So afterwards, it was Metal, Vulkan. We started supporting more backends, and now we finally have the globe, because in reality, even though it's square, it should be kind of circular, obloid shape. So a bit of history. As I said, license change. This was what started all of this. Just a few changes in the GitHub repository caused all this in the Mapbox. So I basically tweeted, how about we come up with MapLibre repo? I mean, just a reminder, like all this is just tweet proposing to start a new effort and get community going around it. So the only claim to fame I have is the name, nothing else really. Well, some technical things here and there. The result, who has been to Tartu last year? Yeah, oh, few people. So the result is that now when you go to bar in Tartu during the conference, you get Kubo MapLibre, and which I thought was kind of cute. I mean, that's why we did it. Really, that's so who is using MapLibre? Amazon is using it in their delivery systems, in their location, like many of their systems use MapLibre to visualize it. Wikipedia uses it to visualize maps. Microsoft Bing search engine uses MapLibre as the primary way of drawing their maps. Lots and lots of navigation apps in your phones, MapLibre native. Lyft. So if sometimes you land in the airport and your phone starts draining the battery really fast, that's probably our fault too, because MapLibre. Grab, some military applications. I don't know the details of those, but I heard that there's some use cases of in military for like helicopter stuff. Street Complete. As of yesterday, Rivian, the company I actually work for, they're the ones paying my bills. The car company in US, electric EV company, started using MapLibre. Developments. So what are we doing? We got the globe. Now it's finally spinnable, mostly bug-free, mostly. Has nice few cute features here and there, and works, but it works. And we're very impressed and surprised by how long it took and how successful we were. We got PM tiles in native, in addition to the web version. PM tiles has really been a big success story. So we got it there. We got Vulkan support. Anyone who is familiar with the GPU stuff and like how various graphics systems progress, this was a big success. So Vulkan backend for the native. We got the plugin layer, so you can integrate a layer to show 3D models directly in your map as a graphics layer. Lots of stability improvements. Customers love us, saying that like, oh my God, it stopped crashing. It's a kind of surprising thing that's still kind of a cause for celebration in so many years after we started coding, but still, it's a success story. We are trying to get web GPU going on the website, because I mean that's clearly the future. It gives much more control over the graphics aspect of our system, and that's where everyone wants to go, especially because of the performance issues. And Martin has grown tremendously. We've even gained a massive contributor sitting in the corner, Frank, right there. Frank really contributed a lot of code recently and became like essentially a maintainer of the project. Martin is the tile server that allows you to serve the tiles. Because remember, our goal is not just to draw the map. It's to go all the way from bits, some data bits, any kind of data bits, through all the pipelining to the pixels and visualization. Martin serves the first portion, or to get the bits packaged and shipped over the web. So it's a tile server. And it has been rated the fastest tile server on the planet, independently by us. So like there's some independent studies showing that it's by far the fastest tile server, which we're very happy with. It's written in Rust. Those who love Rust will understand my happiness with that. We just last release cycle, which was a month and a half, I believe. Within that time frame, we gained 9 new contributors to Martin tile server, which is quite impressive, considering that Martin, unlike WebGL.js or MapLibre native, does not get any funding. It's all volunteer efforts. 9 contributors. It supports multiple backends. You can get data from Martin from Postgres, from MB tiles, from PM tiles, from COG files. PM tiles can live on S3 buckets or any other HTTP range capable service. Martin can be hosted inside AWS Lambda. It supports all the other assets needed for map rendering, such as sprites, styles, fonts. It can do caching, cores like e-tags for efficient caching. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about future of Martin.
So, is the mic on? Or is it that mic?
It's both. You have to speak in here and yell.
Okay, so the new features from Martin, they come in 2 flavors. First of all, we want to be much simpler. Simpler means, for example, we want to have a front end. This is the current draft of the front end. I'm going to show more screenshots of the front end. We want to have more features, i.e. more support. For example, we want to support Overture Maps geoparky. We want to support tile rendering, like the actual PNGs that you might know from layup data, some other software. We want to do automatic updates. And obviously also a bit better performance because we want to stay at the forefront of performance. So that's the new front end. It's somewhat simple design. It shows you what you already have in the tile server. That's the wrong direction. It has a tile editor integrated, so that a style editor integrated, so that you can actually edit your styles. Just Maputnik, nothing special here, and also viewing sprites and stuff, so that the common tasks that we all have are a bit simpler. So back over to Yuri.
Thank you. Martin tooling. Martin supports a lot of additional functionality that was not missing at the time. You can use Martin as a copy, very similar to copy, or that, and a few other tools where you can use the same functionality as Martin, but to just generate tons and tons of tiles directly from Postgres. Or from MB tiles, or whatever specific range, copy it to a new file, combine multiple MB tiles. You can even make diffs between two MB tiles and ship just the delta to a vehicle, for example, where you need to update the state of the vehicle. So you can even do that. Using Martin toolsets. And obviously apply the file on the other hand, and do all the validation, verification, hash checks, etc. There is, and hopefully we'll have MLT support as well as tile rendering. So another big feature that we would really love to have is to integrate MapLibre native directly into Martin, so that you can have server-side rendering rasterization of the tiles or bigger images. For example, if you know in Facebook, very often you would get a snapshot of some location. You logged in from here in your email. Well, that image has to be generated somehow. And everyone's doing all these complex DevOps and programming tasks to generate those images, whereas Martin can provide it, will provide it out of the box to just generate it very efficiently because it already has the styles, the sprites, fonts. And last topic I want to cover is MapLibre tile format, otherwise known as MLT. So what is it? MVT has been great. It's just slow and large, but other than that, it has been really good. It has really became the ubiquitous standard of how we send tiles, vector tiles, to the client. So MLT is the attempt to rewrite the actual content structure of it while keeping all the existing functionality and add some. So it's up to 6 times smaller than MVT. It's faster to decode. It's columnar based, which means just similar to Parquet files and other, which means it can encode things vertically because the same types of data is in one column, and if it's like an integer which has some correlation with one another, like ID numbers, you can compress them very efficiently. It's SIMD optimized because of that. Zero copies. You can send data directly to GPU. You can even do pre-tessellation. You can compute tessellation. If anyone knows what tessellation is, it's basically you have a polygon, but GPUs do not understand polygons, and GPUs only understand triangles. So you need to convert a polygon, a random shape, into triangles, send it to GPU, and the GPU can handle it. We can now include tessellation as part of the tile. So the clients do not need to spend tessellating it, which wins like 25-30% in some cases. Also new data types. Overture. Familiar with Overture? Overture uses a lot of range-based, where you have one geometry, and then sections of that row rather than the entire row. Speed limit here is one value, and the second portion of that, the same geometry is another value. Overture supports this kind of encoding. MVT does not. So this is what column kind of looks like. By the way, Marcus, the person who came up with this format, the researcher from Germany, and he's been working very actively on stabilizing it. Columnar format means that you have all this data encoded vertically, all features in one layer, data layer, one after another. So that gives, as I mentioned already, M values, elevation, other things. We can do possibly even routing, another use case. Imagine you have a tile that has all the things needed for visualizing data, but also to route within that tile. So you don't need to use server-based services, cloud-based services to ask, how do I need to reroute when the car misses a turn? You miss the turn, you go straight instead of what the routing tells you to go left, and then you can reroute while not waiting for the network to respond. So call to action, stay up to date, join our community, go to GitHub discussions, GitHub issues, Slack. That's where we spend most of our time. We are actually part of OSM US Slack community. We have newsletters and many other wonderful things. And once a month, we have technical meetings on 3 topics usually. It's on navigation, on MapLibre Native, and on MapLibre Web. Everyone is welcome. Come join. And every second Wednesday of the month. With that, follow us, join us, and Thank you for coming and listening.
Time for some questions. Anybody have any questions for Yuri? Don't be shy.
I was wondering, it's not directly related to what you presented, but in the MapLibre community there was some interest in reprojections to other CRS. Do you know how this currently looks like? The topic is this still a need for a lot of people? And if so, do you think at some point it might give support to that?
So this topic, the topic of projection support has been coming up very regularly in Europe, especially in Europe, probably because a lot of government agencies mandate projection support. Whereas when you build users for the users, and usually don't care as much unless you have a very special use case. So it is a kind of difficult because the main thing we succeeded at is turning it into a global. All of a sudden we are actually semi-spherical, and that fixes most of the projection issues for the end users. But globe is not a real projection itself. Oh, it kind of is. So the question is, do the answer, I do not, because if we want to do this, just to put this giant check mark for some government to say yes, it's needed, it has been done, I'm going to use it, but it's there, therefore I am good to use it. It seems like a bad reason to do it. If on the other hand, it is a real reason, and the current globe-based visualization is not enough for the real use cases, come discuss with it. Fundamentally, though, I have not mentioned, MapLibre organization is there to mediate, to help you to merge your changes into the core. We're maintainers, we're not implementers of the new functionality most of the time. So if there's enough interest in something, do it, we'll help you get it in. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you for the nice talk, Yuri. You mentioned some planned work with routing and Valhalla network tiles. Could you elaborate on the state of planning there?
Sure. So routing is an interesting use case for the new tile format. We want to get it in somehow and make it supported. So the first step of all this is to actually familiarize ourselves with the Valhalla tile format. Currently, there is an effort by Overture Foundation to implement a converter from Overture data to Valhalla, because right now Valhalla only supports OSM data, and it uses a lot of concepts directly from OSM data, which is obviously not very scalable and useful. So the first step, let's get Overture data into Valhalla tiles. Second step, once we have the knowledge of Valhalla tiles, how they function, we can understand, can we adopt the same, what's needed in Valhalla tiles into MapLibre new tile format, which, by the way, Amazon also sponsors implementation of art. And then we can progress from there to try to switch Valhalla itself to support MLT tiles and possibly add other supporters of MLT routing tiles in the other ecosystem, in the other routing. So that's the theoretical future goal. How much of it are we going to do? Come join us. Help us build it.
Yeah, time for one. Yeah, it's time for one last quick question.
Thank thanks for the talk. I was wondering, there's been a while since MapLibre was created, and Mapbox changed their license. How easy is it now for users who are using the Mapbox GLJS to migrate? Making it somewhat compatible any kind of priority, or is it really diverged?
We are not trying to create just for the sake of creating breaking. Some of us might be, but we usually try to tell them not to, because migration means that every single user of your software has to do something. The less we do that, at the same time, new functionality, new limitations, features, new performance improvements may require breaking changes. So we've made a few breaking changes here and there. We try to stay fairly compatible with the original one of Mapbox, but it's not a goal. We just keep natural progression of how MapLibre API should develop. So your safe bet would be just to take MapLibre 1.0 and migrate to that, and then go through all the documents about the breaking changes and see what you may need to do to adjust it. But the migration to 1.0 is a no-brainer, obviously. Because that said, I suspect, I don't know because I never look at Mapbox code, obviously, for a number of reasons. That Mapbox might have introduced some breaking changes in their API themselves since 1.0. So you should just look at that if you're using any of it. Quite a few people actually do not use many of the newer features, so the migration might still be very straightforward and flexible.
Thank you, Yuri.
Thank you, everyone.